them.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is Ted the Speed Learner. I am here in Springfield, Illinois. We are over here at the Great Western Depot. And as you can see, I'm going to read this sign to you in just a second, but I wanted to let you know that we're going to put a grand slam on YouTube today. We're going to put up 20 full signs. That's 20 full videos you're going to see on YouTube tonight. So you don't want to miss a thing. Stay tuned. This is the Lincoln Depot. From this building on February 11th, 1861, Abraham Lincoln departed Springfield, Illinois to assume the presidency of the United States. After bidding farewell to a number of friends, he delivered a brief, spontaneous, and moving farewell address to the crowd, estimated at 1,000, from the rear platform of the train. Okay, folks, like I said before, we are at the Great Western Railroad Depot right here. And as you will see, right over here, look at this wonderful place. Wow! This says the Great Western Depot, owned and maintained by the State Journal Registry. And we'll go in here for just a second. Oh, it's open. I just... And right over here, folks, is the next Looking for Lincoln sign. I will read this to you in just a second, so stay tuned. We're still at the Great Western Depot. I just want to really be careful here because this is a real railroad track. Okay. It says, "Here I have lived a quarter of a century and have passed from a young to an old man. Here my children have been born, and one is buried. I now leave, not knowing when or whether ever I may return." This is Abraham Lincoln's farewell address in 1861. The Great Western Railroad Depot. This depot, built in 1852, was the site of Abraham Lincoln's famous farewell address upon leaving Springfield on February 11th, 1861, to assume the presidency of the United States. Dedicated April 23rd, 1965, erected by the Springfield Historical Sites Commission in 1965. Well, folks, we are at the corner of 7th and Monroe in Springfield, and guess what we have found? Another Looking for Lincoln sign. I'm going to read this to you in just a second, so stay tuned. We're still on the corner of 7th and Monroe at a water fountain, and if you look right over here, you'll see another Abraham Lincoln sign. I'm going to read this to you in just a second, so stay tuned. Okay, folks, we are at the Lincoln Library over here on 7th and Capitol, and guess what we have found? Not just one sign, but if we do this, dun, 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 we have two. Stay tuned, I'm going to read both of them to you. We're at the Lincoln Public Library, and guess what? We have found yet another sign. I'm going to read this to you in just a second, so stay tuned. It is once again Ted the Speed Learner, and yet, yes, we haven't quite left the Lincoln Public Library, as you can see here. And right across the street is another Looking for Lincoln sign. I'm going to read you this one in just a second, so stay tuned. I'm on the corner of 7th and Adams right now, the corner of 7th and Adams here in Springfield, Illinois, and we have found another Abraham Lincoln sign. So you go to the corner of 7th and Adams and you'll see this. I'll read this to you in just a second, so stay tuned. Alright, we are on 5th Street between Washington Street and I'm not sure what other street, but right over here, if you go that way, is Washington Street, and we're at 5th Street as well. And we have just found ourselves another Looking for Lincoln sign. I will read this to you in just a second, so stay tuned. Hello everyone, it's once again Ted the Speed Learner, and I wanted to tell you guys that we are on the corner of 5th and Washington Streets, and not only have we found this sign here, which is Joshua's Speed Store, but on the other side, Lincoln's Last Law Office. I'm going to read both of these to you in just a moment, so stay tuned. We are still at the corner, folks, of 5th Street and Washington Street, and guess what? We have found another Lincoln sign. I'm going to show you this to you in just a second, so stay tuned. Alright, we are on the corner of 6th and Washington Street. You can actually see a candy shop right here, but you can also see the old state capitol. And this is the next Looking for Lincoln sign. I will tell you about this in just a second, so stay tuned. We are right across the street from the old state capitol, and guess what we have found? Yet another Looking for Lincoln sign. I'm going to read this to you in just a second, so stay tuned. Okay, we are on the corner of 5th and Monroe, and guess what? We have found ourselves yet another looking for Lincoln sign. I will read this to you in just a second, so stay tuned. We're on the corner of 5th and Monroe, and yet we have found another leaping Lincoln sign. So you come to the corner of 5th and Monroe, you'll find this one. I'll read it to you in just a second, so stay tuned. Okay, we are right across the street from Norb Andy's Tavern, and we're between 5th and 6th Streets here, and what we found was another looking for Lincoln sign. So stay tuned. This is, once again, Ted the Speed Learner on 5th and Adams Street. We have a sign right here. Believe it or not, we also have another sign right here. Look at that. We have two more way down there. And more importantly, give me just a moment here. We have two more way over there in that corner. And one way down there on that one. I mean, we got a lot of reading to do. Stay tuned. Now we're in downtown Springfield, and I wanted to videotape this for you guys. We have a lot of signs over here. You can see this. You'll see a sign over here, one over here, him, two signs over here, and I will tell you more in a future video, so stay tuned. Alright, we're on 5th and Adams, and we're going to have this sign over here. It says the American House, and so if you want to find the sign on 5th and Adams where the American House is, well, just kind of look across the street from the subway, and there it is. Tell you more in just a second. Stay tuned. Okay, we're right across the street from the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity, and right over here is Springfield Furniture and Recycled Records. And we not only have one sign over here, but we have another sign over here. I'm going to tape these in just a moment, so stay tuned. Okay, this once again Ted the Speed Learner. We are on 6th and Adams, and you'll see there's a subway here, and we have two signs, one here and one right over here. And we're going to get those in just a second, so stay tuned.